Welcome to Wild and Wonderful West Virginia.
Wild and wonderful West Virginia.
This is a exciting episode for us, friends. This is our first episode filming for you guys at a national park. And this is our first episode coming to you with 500 subscribers. So I want to thank everybody who has subscribed and been a part of the channel. And hopefully by the time you see this, we're well on our way to 600. See it?
We are going to Mountain Lake Campground and Cabins is the name of the campground. It's Summersville, West Virginia, at Summersville Lake, which is the largest lake in West Virginia. And there's something special about this trip too. Two other special things. First of all, it's Sarah's birthday camping trip. She is 4 years old. And second of all, this is going to be our first group camping experience. We managed to talk a great number of family members into coming down with us and spending the weekend with us. So if you see any unfamiliar faces that are hanging around, it's going to be our family. So
my parents are behind us. Rachel's parents are already there. We've got aunts, uncles, cousins, but that's more of next week's episode. This episode, we're going to the new River Gorge and possibly hiking two different trails while we're there. The one is Long Point, and what's the other one?
Endless Wall Trail.
Yes, so Long Point Trail at the new River Gorge, not the Long Point Trail at Summersville Lake. We might do that in next week's episode, but you'll just have to stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribed, and we'll see you at the campground. So friends, there is a couple things I want to show you real quick that we're just stepping into the, I don't know, the world of RVers who actually have the stuff that they say that you're supposed to have. We've made it almost 3 full seasons without these things though, so they're not 100% necessary, but you know, whatever fits your fancy. This is an elbow, so when your hose goes into the RV, it points it straight down so that your hose isn't putting tension on that piece of plastic, the fitting that's on the RV. And I've also finally broke down and bought a water filter. Generally, we don't have sites with water hookups, but even without that, you are supposed to filter the water before you put it in your tank. Rachel wants to be able to drink the water from the RV, so we got a filter. We've never had a problem without a filter, and we've never had a problem without an elbow. But this little thing here is a pressure regulator. Now this we have had since we started. It came with the starter kit that we bought. Make sure that we don't blow out the fittings in the rig. And then I have had this for a while. It's a splitter where your water hookup is. If you need water outside, you can get it. And it also helps you to take the pressure off the line before you disconnect. So that's the main thing that I use it for. But we'll get all this stuff hooked up and get going here. All right, so this is what it all looks like here. Here you got your elbow and your water filter and your splitter. Not too difficult to set up. Right now we're headed over to Rachel's parents' camper. And we're going to have some dinner with them and kind of get the whole group together and get going. And then in the morning, we'll take you over to the river. So we'll see you probably in the morning. Well, good morning, everybody. We're just leaving Mountain Lake Campground and headed over to the new River Gorge National Park. We're going to the visitor center, which, what is there, a canyon rim trail or something there?
We're going to the Canyon Rim Visitor Center, which is by the bridge portion of the park. There's a canyon rim boardwalk. It's a hike by the visitor center that's going to give us an opportunity to see the bridge. And then after we do that hike, we are going to split off into 2 groups and do 2 different hikes. So we'll be doing the Long Point Trail, and Ryan and my sister and her boyfriend will be doing the Endless Wall Trail.
Which, from what I've seen online, that Endless Wall Trail looks pretty cool. And it looks like there's some like ladder sections down to like climbing access, and you know, it just seems like it'd be a cool spot to see the cliffs. So that's what we're gonna do, and we'll see you over at the visitor center.
These waters also tell of the region's recovery from industrial exploitation and of the promise of wild places protected for future generations by the National Park Service. These are the stories of the great American treasures, New River Gorge National Park.
Alrighty, friends, we are here at the Visitor Center, Canyon Rim Visitor Center at New River Gorge National Park, and we're just doing this scenic boardwalk trail. We just got done inside the Visitor Center. It's pretty cool, and we watched a video. It talked about the history of the area, and this trip down here, our goal is just to kind of get our feet wet, see what's all here, and then sometime on a future endeavor, there's a lot more here I'd like to see. There's some old mining towns and coke ovens and stuff like that it looks really cool, and so we'll have to come back and do. So where the video just left you guys off, we were at the lookout at New River Gorge National Park, which overlooks the bridge. It was pretty cool, although you're afraid of heights, so you didn't really get to...
I didn't get to enjoy much of it because
Oh yeah,
we had another situation.
We had a toddler problem.
I had to run back to the visitor center.
But after that, we all kind of split up, and I went with Rachel's sister, her boyfriend, and my cousin. We went over to the Diamond Point Endless Wall Trail. Friends, down below it looks like there are some ladders and steps that lead down to rock climbing access. We're not doing any kind of serious rock climbing today, but we are just trying to explore this area and see what there is to see. The views already are incredible. Luckily it's much cooler here than it was over at the visitor center because the humidity over there is incredible. friends, all along this trail, on the cliff edges, we've been noticing these pine trees with these really tiny needles. And we took a picture with our phone and did like the phone identification thing. And it's telling us they're a Virginia scrub pine. So, love to know if you can confirm or deny that that's accurate. But they're a neat looking tree, and this is just very scenic on this edge here. And it looks like you can actually get another view of the bridge up here. So this is Diamond Point Overlook on the Endless Wall Trail. And they call it the Endless Wall Trail because, as you can see this wall right behind me, the cliff face is seemingly endless. But we've been walking along this for quite some time, and it just keeps going. But there's crazy beautiful things to see along the way. We are going to head back to the car and meet up with Rachel and the others back at the visitor center. And we'll be on our way back to Summersville Lake and take the kayaks out and hopefully do some swimming. So yeah, we'll catch up with you back at the campground most likely. Rachel and everybody else, they went over to Long Point.
I also didn't get to enjoy much of that, but that was because my fear of heights kicked in. But from what I could see, and I knew that it was going to be like this because I had researched the trail, it's a spectacular, almost straight-on view of the bridge from an overlook further down the gorge. So I think everyone had a good time. It was a pretty easy walk. There were a lot of people out there. It's a pretty popular overlook. A lot of the people that we saw wandering around the visitor center and the overlook by the visitor center was also moved over to that trail, so we saw some familiar faces. I'm gonna stay right here. Oh, is this filming my weakness?
Yeah, it worked out pretty good. The people who didn't necessarily want to be on the cliff, they were able to go do something with a little less of a height thing, and then worked out nice too because we got to see two different angles of the bridge. But definitely there's more to do at the new River Gorge National Park, so we would like to go back next year. We barely scratched the surface, I think, and from the visitor center, you know, they were able to show us like all the mining towns and the history of the region, which that park does a good job of preserving and showing off. So Friends, if you enjoyed this new River Gorge episode, make sure you're subscribed and make sure you check out next week because we're still in the area. We're at Summersville Lake at Mountain Lake Campground and Cabins, and we have a good time there with the families and on the lake and stuff. So make sure you're subscribed and check us out next week, Thursday at 5 o'clock. We will see you then.